We are at the bank of River Donga. This is approximately 8:30 in the morning. Activities have started here in earnest. The river you're watching at the moment is the river that forms the catchment for one of the largest proposed hydroelectric power dam that will be constructed in West Africa. This river gives the catchment to the dam called the Barub Dam. And the federal government of Nigeria is planning to construct an hydroelectric power dam that will yield megawatts above 5,000 and excesses. What we are looking at here is an entrance into a very viable economic environment. The lorry we are watching being crossed now has some plantains and some vegetables meant for the markets on the Mambilla Plateau. We are in Bamga at the moment. Bamga is one of the communities on the Mambilla Plateau. As we speak this moment, you can hear some interesting sound at the background. This sound is as a result of a waterfall called the Jew Waterfall. The waterfall you're looking at has an approximate head or height of about 200 meters. The fall of this water runs this way from January to January, round the clock, every year. It runs with this magnitude. The reason is simple. Up at the top of the river, there is a large catchment. That catchment is a big basin. It gets water from about 5, 6, 7 different distributaries and put it together in a large basin, so that even when the year goes dry, the water is still flowing with this kind of height and speed. This is a tourist excitement. We believe that as we're making progress, in the future, these locations will be made beautiful for tourists to come and see and enjoy. The rest is yours to imagine. We are sitting at the entrance of one of the legendary caves in Bamga community. And with me is one of the cave guides. His name is Ishaku. This is one of the caves you have on schedule to take us to. How often have you entered into these caves?
Well, I've been entering it for so long, and it has been there for long. Our forefathers have been there in terms of war and other things. They enter there, they use their feeding materials, hide there, and other things being kept there.
Now, have you ever found something that has interested you before? Something you like inside?
Yes. Things like these wild animals. We call them rock buggers or stone beefs sometimes. We find them there, or most of the times.
What always brings you into this case? What do you come to do here?
Okay, because I do hunt. I'm a hunter.
So, if you're coming with us, you will never regret being a part of this adventure.
So, it will interest you to note that we are inside one of the caves in the Bamga community. This cave was originally created or discovered by the people in this community. The purpose was simple. During the early days, war was a common syndrome around this area. Therefore, whenever there was an attack, families, relations, and friends, the weak and the light-minded, will always rush into these caves and hide in until the war is over. Sometimes food and other items are brought into the cave. We are actually using torchlights to be able to see. We're using torchlights to be able to make our way around this cave. We've come in like 7 to 10 meters deep, and we're planning to go further. Our major concern here is the lights. But we're making progress all the same. Let's see what we see further from here. Let's go on. this direction now, we're turning towards an entrance. And sometimes the caves are in such a way that they have outlets where light is allowed to come in. Now, we are also beginning to discover that some of these caves have a natural setting. Some have not actually been built. This way is another entrance into the cave. You can see light coming in from there. Then you come in from that direction also, and you connect down here, and you start making progress. Now there's water running inside this cave. The water is meant to serve as a source of drinking, to kill thirst, to cook, and other things for those who will be living in the cave until the war is over. We're making progress, but we have a huge challenge. Light. We need it as much as we can. Hold the touch. Aha! We're making progress. And like I told you, light is a good source here. There are outlets where light is coming in, and we're able to manage our way through. The cave, like I said earlier, is one that has been built by nature. Stones have been arranged in such a way that they create space and allowance for people to walk in head straight, people to crawl in, and some crevices where you can actually store some stuff. And lights are allowed to come in. Light is not helping us at all. Light. Need some light. In the cave here. Need some light. What we're not able to see here is leftover of stuff, but there's something whitish at the corner there. And it looks like some form of flower. So, some form of flower, whitish on the wall of the cave. We cannot say exactly if this is leftover of some form of food or whatever. They are not ferns growing on the wall, so they look whitish. We'll get to know if we take some samples from here. At the moment we can see mushrooms growing inside, some ferns, you know. This to me is a very safe cave because water runs inside this cave, so it will be difficult to have anything hide inside this cave. It could get flooded just like that. As you make progress, you find opportunities for light coming up from the top. However, if you're on the outside, you will not see these entrances. Light seeps in and gives you a chance to see your way in most of the cases. Except for crevices where you might want to hide or put some stuff like this very one, where you'll need an external light to be able to see you through. But otherwise, you have lighting opportunities as you make progress. But if you're on the outside, you will never ever know that someone is down here. This is nature at work. Well, you've been watching some clips of an entrance into a cave in Bamga. Sincerely speaking, I've never gone 6 or 10 feet below. Here we have gone 10 meters below. Between rocks, between crevices, under the stones, to see the beauty or the infrastructure of this cave. And every place inside this cave is habitable. I could imagine myself in war times. I'll run in here with speed, you know. But this is a place we need to explore. This is a place we need to see. This is a place the world needs to visit. Just go along with us as we take you through this piece of discoveries, and you will not regret being a part of it. Mambilla Hills is the third highest point on the Mambilla Plateau, ranking after Chapal Wadi, which stands at a whopping height of 2,442 meters above sea level, and the Groja Peaks at above 1,800 meters above sea level. It is speculated in common quarters that when the season is at its best, snow particles percolate at the top of the very hills, a sight to behold from Gembu metropolis. If you ever have a chance to get to the top of the very hills, you will have a privilege of standing on a very, very wide divide. It gives you a cherishing view of the Donga River like never before, winding and meandering between valleys, turning after mountain elbows, and giving you a perspective never seen before. You can look down into the Banga Plains, stretching down to Tamia, over to Ndarup and Dorovi, and you can sight Kabri at a distance. On the other way round, it gives you an opportunity to view the Nguroje peaks from this distance. If you ever have a chance to go there, you will appreciate Mother Nature at its best. Give it a shot someday and you will believe my story. Tucked away at the backyard of the residents of the Nyambu metropolis eastwards is a very, very beautiful waterfall. Within 15 to 20 minutes of active trekking, you will find yourself at the site of the beautiful Mambilla waterfalls. It flows so majestic and exhibits itself more to those approaching Nyambu from Warwan. It gets its feed from within the Gembu metropolis and flows down into the Donga River. It is such a beautiful sight to behold. So close, yet so untapped.
This is Kilayan. Kilayan is a community on the Mambilla Plateau in Sardona local government area. We are here today because something unique happens in this community. The people here in the early 1900s had a huge challenge. This challenge was connected with their ability to buy and sell, their ability to go to war and win wars successfully, their ability to take care of domestic responsibilities by way of implements, their ability to go about their normal farming duties effectively. These challenges put together exhibited a situation where they needed implements they can use for all these purposes. The people in Kilayan had to sit together and came up with solutions. And finally they arrived at the fact that along their river banks, the sand was quite attractive. The sand looked black, had some black surfaces, and they decided that a way forward was to be able to identify which kind of material of soil can create implements for them. Therefore, they got into the arrangement of scooping some kind of black sand that looked like no other sand on the surface of the Kilayan rivers. This sand was quite soft and smooth, and they went after it. Gradually, they had to identify other building blocks, other items that when melted together could lead to what they are looking for. They had to get this sand, mixed it with other soils, and together they started the production process. The process of creating implements for war, bows and arrows, spears, implements for farming, hoe, implements for digging and cutting, cutlasses, implements for lighting, traditional lighters. By the 1914s, 15 and 16, when the world was experiencing World War I, the people in Kilayan were able to create their own kind of implements from soils around their environment. These hoes were the legal tender, and every family had to stock some. The more number of hoes you had, the more wealth the family had. They used the hoe also to create canyons and gorges. These gorges were in such a way that they protected the communities around. So when warriors came on horseback, these gorges were a little bit covered, so the horses would fall into these gorges, and then the people or the warriors of the Kilayan community will attack these horses. So they created their own local implements, and they took them beyond just regular civilization, but it helped them to win wars, it helped them to create their legal tender, it helped them to create domestic implements, it helped them to create farming implements. Today, the sand is still available on the river banks of the Kilayan River, and then the raw materials for making iron like they used to do is still available. This is Tambi village under Barup on the Sardona local government area of Taraba state. This is the host community where the proposed hydroelectric power dam is planned to be installed. That you can see some views you've never seen in life before. We are standing at a location that's very, very close to the site where the hydroelectric power station being planned for the Mambilla Plateau and for Nigeria at large to generate approximately 5,000 megawatts and above of electricity will be installed. When you look up there, you can see a wide fall. This is the closest that the two hills get together to get this body of water amassed in one spot. This is a location in a community called Kambi. Kambi is within the Barup axis. And Barup is on the Mambilla Plateau. As you turn towards your left, you see the community, the people of Kambi. They have come to accompany us to the location where the hydroelectric power station is going to be installed. In their eyes, you can see surprise and emotions. We do not actually know if they understand exactly what is going to happen here. But we see them looking at us, and they are surprised. We just hope this surprise will be taken off their eyes someday, and they will be able to appreciate the dividends of this project. Mambilla Plateau does not stop amazing us every step we go. You've watched all the locations we've shown you, but there's one aspect of the Mambilla Plateau that we'd like to bring to your notice. This is the plains and the horizons. You can just stand on the Mambilla Plateau and look as far as the eye can see. You will see undulated hills dotted all over the place, some hills skipping up behind other hills. Now, these scenic beauties are so healing. If you have some psycho effect and you come around this kind of locations, some people say that because of these undulations, the people around here hardly fall ill. If you're sick here for one day, assuming you were elsewhere, you would have been sick for 1 year. The healing effect is so pronounced that when you look around, you see how nature is unfolding. It's high, the breeze is blowing, the wind is quite peaceful. You can only hear the waterfall behind us making some noise. But the real sense of it, you can see the undulations far and far and far and far further. Plains upon plains upon plains. Imagine running a movie here. Imagine having a resort in this quiet environment where you can come, put your brains together and write. I mean, just imagine it. God has been so nice to the people of Mambilla Plateau, and this is what we have to show for it.